the fact that we have these disconnected mothers, disconnected is a term I chafe at because they're really not disconnected. They won't be very much disconnected from the child welfare system if they remain poor. They will not be disconnected from the juvenile justice system if we allow them to be poor. And their poverty, their grinding poverty, says much more about us as a society than it does about them. And Rebecca's attempt to deal with them and this whole discussion is, I think, very appropriate. Because as Ron mentioned, I'm sure he's got his fingers crossed behind his back, it's likely to be that in the next Congress we will see a significant increase in the number of Democrats in the House and a rather dramatic increase in the number of Democrats in the Senate. Now, the question of whether or not we get a Democratic president or not is still very much up in the air, but if you want to see me later, I'll be happy to give you some odds, because I do think that the wind that John McCain, who is a very decent and good man, is sailing into is a little stiff even for him. So if that, in fact, comes to pass, and you have 57, 58 Democratic members of the United States Senate and 250 or so Democratic members of the House, those would be the exact numbers that Bill Clinton had in 1994. The difference was that majority that he had in 94 was built on a foundation of sand. The one that Barack Obama would inherit would be a much more fundamental and determined majority than the one that Bill Clinton had. And this issue of dealing with people in poverty will eventually find its way to the fore because if Democrats are anything, on occasion you can, and there are people inside the party who will tug at the other members' heartstrings and begin to focus our attention on the fact that we need to do something about this. And ironically, for 5 or 6 days of what we would spend in the war in Iraq, we could have a profound impact on the lives of 4 million families. I mean, $3 billion, some of the numbers that Becky has in her paper are really not a lot of money to set up a program.